In today's video, I wanted to go over 3 ways to warm up your horse. Can you go out there, ride the rail? Is one. The second one is can you go out and do circles in the corner? And the third one is can you do a figure eight? I've got a couple cones here and we'll do some figure eights. And on each one of them, can you keep a nice forward rhythm? Can you follow the line of travel you're on? And can you get your horse to bend on the line of travel that you're on? So those three pieces are that forward rhythm, the line of travel, and your bend. And those 3 things we're going over and over in most everything we do. We're always looking for those 3 things. So I'm on Spider-Man here. He's a 3-year-old Irish Draft, and I've had him a couple weeks here, and I've got about 10 rides on him, and I've ridden him 3 or 4 times here with the bit. And so I was going to go through these exercises. For him, this is a whole workout, or the whole time we're riding. But as you advance, and with most of you, this can be just a warm-up, is you can come out and in 10 minutes or so, you can go through these things. But with a greener horse, this is all going to be pretty much your routine of your whole workout. So if you're going to ride them for 45 minutes to an hour, that might be what you do, after the groundwork. With him too, being a 3-year-old, and he's a really big guy, I'm just keeping everything pretty low pressure and easy for him because he's got lots of growing to do. So to start off with, it's just simply going out to the rail, and can he follow the rail? The first thing I'm looking for is, do I have a nice forward rhythm? And I'm not just coming in, especially with him being green, I don't want to just come in with the reins and just say, hey, you got to get out there and stay on the rail. It's more I'm going to use my intent and my focus, and can I just kind of keep him between my reins, but then when he's going along, I'm going to give him some rein. And if he comes off, I just pick up and direct him back to the rail using a little rein, but I'm also using a little inside leg. So if he comes off, I kind of come on with my leg. I'm going to shift my weight slightly back to the rail, and then I'm going to use my rein to say, no, just stay on the rail here. And then just keep that forward walk going. Because he's very green with the bridle, so I don't want to be just overdoing it. But I'm going to say, hey, let's stay right here till he starts going, oh, the rail's my friend. Let me just follow that. But keeping that rhythm there. He falls off, I shift my weight a little bit, come on with a little inside leg, and then use my rein. And it's kind of just guiding him back with that rein. Now he's kind of just poking along, so I add a little bit of life in my body, and if I need, I can come on with a little bit of crop to say, no, keep going, keep the walk here, and this is nice. And as he's going here now, I'm just keeping a nice loose rein and letting him know that, yeah, that's what I want, just right there. And for a more advanced horse, this is a really good thing too. Just can you give your horse some rein, give him some responsibility to say, hey, can you just stay on this rail, so that you're not constantly or all the time just holding them there. Can you give your horse some responsibility? See there, he's not wanting to turn, so then I can pick up a little bit of my inside rein to say, hey, let's come on and turn. Gets a little weaving here. He wants to kind of stall out, so I just bring my life up a little, put a little feel, squeeze with my legs, and if he doesn't respond to that, I can actually just tap him a little bit with the crop. And so that's pretty good. When I get to the corner, I'll do a little circle here and go back the other way. So I can just pick up rotate my shoulders here, come on with a little outside leg now, saying bring your shoulder around, and now we're going to head back to the rail. And we'll do the same thing going this way. In your crop, just put it in whatever hand you feel like is going to be the most effective. Typically, I'm going to put it in the hand where I feel like the horse is leaning in or pushing in. And so usually it's the inside hand, but not always. And then we're just, again, looking for a nice forward rhythm. That's the first thing. Second thing is he following the line of travel here? So his mind's kind of drifting off, and then it's over here and over there, and that's a really common thing for the young green horses. But I just keep directing him, saying, no, back here, the little bit of shift in my weight, little inside leg, and then rein to say, back to the rail. And let's turn. We're not stopping for water yet. And there he drifts off, so I shift my weight, inside leg, a little rein, say come on back. As soon as he's there, I give it to him. It's like, thank you. And he drifts off again, and I help him. So this direction here, he's kind of, wiggling back and forth a little more, and I just keep helping him. Keep that forward, because that's what's going to happen is they're going to usually kind of wiggle, and a lot of times that's because they get too slow at the walk. The walk's really harder to keep them following the rail than the trot is, because you don't have the forward. It's kind of like when you first learned how to ride a bike and you get too slow and it gets too wobbly. So they need to just kind of move out a little bit. So can I ask them just to walk just a little bit more there? And that's why that forward rhythm is so important. And he's just kind of bouncing back and forth, and I just keep helping him, saying, nope, stay right over here to the rail. And then when he is, I leave him alone. And then I just keep working on that forward. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. And again, so for him, this is all new. And for you, you might spend a minute or two or three on it, and then you can go on into the next thing. And it all depends. How long you stay at something depends on how well the horse is doing. So if your horse gets it in just a few minutes, then you can move right on into something else. For your more advanced horse, this is a way to just get them to start loosening up their muscles. You're warming up their muscles, suppling them, and then you can move on. So with him, this is pretty good. So I'm going to ask him up into a trot now. So I bring my life up. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Going on around. Got to keep the forward. Helping through the corners a little bit. And forward again. So as I help them with the reins here, is I'm going to draw them over, but then I'm going to get my hands back into neutral as quick and as soon as I can. So the biggest issue for him is just staying rhythmic. And that's what I have to get first. When I get the rhythm at a better quality, he will start staying straighter. He'll start staying on the rail better. Yeah, there was a few moments that it was pretty nice. Now he kind of slows down a little bit, so I help him. Yeah. And it may take a few laps for most horses just to kind of get into the idea of what it is we're doing. The green horses, you know, they've never had to just stay focused on something more than, you know, in the pasture they can think about whatever they want to. Now that we're here saying, oh, you've got to stay focused on something, it's like putting a kindergartner, you know, and starting to say, okay, now focus on your ABCs. It takes them a little bit to figure that out. So I'm not making a big deal out of it, as I just keep helping him. Now, he's not too bad. A couple times he's kind of getting a little too close to the rail. So there's several things you can do there. You can shift your weight to the inside a little bit. And if the horse is really bad about it, is you might even tip their nose into the rail a little bit. That'll help to keep your knee off. And this is better. So I'm not having to guide him so much, being able to get my hands more neutral. Still down here, he kind of falls in, but it's better. Keeping the forward there. And there, he wanted to just turn back and stall out, so I don't say no, oh, keep going. Yeah. And that's pretty good. So I'm going to give him that. Let him come back to a walk. And I'm just going to let him actually come to a halt here, give him a little bit of a break, and then we'll go off and go to the other direction. All right, so I've given him a minute or two here just to kind of rest and catch his breath. And your more advanced horse, you know, you may just walk around, let them catch their breath, and then go on, or they may not even need this. But with him, he still needs this, so that's a great thing to do. And then we'll just go on the other direction now. And first I'm getting the forward, which is a trot. So if you're having trouble keeping them on the rail, you first have to make sure that you can keep the trot. So if you don't have the trot, is maybe you just allow him to go where he wants to and keep the trot going. And you slowly start saying, oh, let's stay out to the rail. And that's actually what we've been doing here the past week or so. I'm just saying, okay, you trot, you get to go where you want to, but you have to maintain the trot. So now I'm saying, okay, now we're adding the next piece in is you maintain the trot and direction. And for the advanced horse, or a horse that already knows this is more just a warm-up. Saying, can you stay on the rail, keeping a nice forward rhythm, looking for straightness. So I pick up the reins, help him, till he's there, then I give it back to him. And in that I'm also using a little shift in my weight, little inside leg, saying stay out to the rail. There, he's starting to get the idea. Yeah. So most importantly, keep that forward, whether it's the walk or the trot. Good. And I'm going to let him have that. So I just soften down, allow him to come back to a walk. Now if your horse is ready and you've done the walk trot and you want to do some of this at the canter, that is fine. That's a good thing to do too. Is just get out here and can you canter or lope around, get 3 or 4 or 5 strides, whatever, you know, you feel good, and do that both directions too. That's still too early for Spider-Man here. So the main things to think about with this is keeping that forward rhythm going and keeping them out there on the rail, getting them to just figure out, oh, there's a rail to follow, I can just stay out there and just cruise around. And they should just get very rhythmic. And that's what you're looking for with this first exercise.